Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and I'm really excited to share this video with you guys. We're going to be digging a little bit deeper into astrology finally today, so it's going to be a very exciting day. First of all, I want to take a minute to thank all of you guys. I think we have hit 160 subscribers right now, and this wonderful family that we have created. I'm so thankful for you guys, and for last few weeks we have been talking and getting to know each other, and so many people have reached out, shared their experience. I cannot thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, there's so much love that you guys give, and I'm so thankful that we have all joined on this little journey. And I like to call this like our little Ketu family, and we are little Ketu warriors who are just fighting our own battles, but we will make it through. I'm really excited to share the knowledge on today's video, and in my last video I talked about it a little bit, so I'm going to bring that back in this video. And one thing I do want to say is, if you're joining for the first time, please subscribe. And so today we're going to be looking at why is it important that the Moksh Trikon houses play a big role in Ketu Mahadasha. Okay, so one thing I want to make it clear that it doesn't matter where your Ketu is placed. This video is for everybody. Okay, I know most of you behind this camera have seen your chart already, and you know your Ketu could be in the first house, third house, eighth house, ninth, 12th, wherever Ketu is sitting. It doesn't matter. Just forget that for a minute. This video applies to everybody. Why? First of all, let me tell you what is Moksh Trikon houses. Okay, Moksh Trikon are commonly referred to as the spiritual houses in a chart. What are they? That's your 4th house, 8th house, and the 12th house. Okay. The reason I wanted to make this video, as you guys know, I always like to enlighten from a different angle, right? So this video is mostly about astrology and the spiritual impact behind these houses that most of us who have studied know that 4th house is emotions, mother, comfort, home, real estate. Okay, great. There's a deeper meaning to it than the 8th house and the 12th house. So we'll get into it. But the other thing about these houses is they're water signs. Like Cancer is a water sign. Scorpio would be 8th house. That's a water sign. And then Pisces again is a water sign. So typically for spirituality purposes, we look at the 4, 8, 12. So as soon as your Ketu Mahadasha comes around, these houses get activated for everybody. Okay, magically. I don't care if you have planets or not, they're activated. So you're gonna be like, huh? How are they activated? That's the whole purpose of this video. So everyone watching, my Ketu family, anyone who's joining for the first time, when Ketu Mahadasha comes around, naturally, your 4th, 8th, and the 12th house get activated. I will show you how today. Let's just say Ketu is the natural karak or the significator of these houses. As soon as Ketu Mahadasha comes around, these houses get activated. Which house are they? 4th, 8th, 12th, also known as your Moksh Trikon. And we're not going to look at as if any planets are in it. No, we're just going to look at the qualities that these houses give and how they impact everybody's life in transforming them, right? So going back to my last video, I made a little mention in there that why the number 108 is very important. 108 is a very divine number. 1 is yourself. 0 is that void or the emptiness, and 8 is dissolving into the infinite, right? 108, you find that number everywhere. Like I said last time, there's 12 houses, 9 planets. 12 times 9 is 108. How many for all the people who do mantra job, like they know the rosary, the bead, how many beads are in there? There's 108. And then there's 108 nadis in it. There's 108 ancient scriptures, ancient spiritual texts on enlightenment. There's a way to calculate the distance. It's 108 multiplied by the diameter. I'm sorry, I'm not educated in that, but I know there's a way. It all equals together, like the diameter to the moon, to the sun, I think it is. It's also a factor of 108. But the main thing that I want to highlight this number is because this is the same vibration or the frequency or the meaning behind these number that we're going to be talking, the 4, 8, and the 12th house represents, okay? So there's also one other meaning, deeper meaning behind this is now the number 108. In the Indian culture, and I'm sorry, whoever is not familiar with it, but you can look it up in Google, but I will try to educate you on this a little bit. There's the 3 very highly figures, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. And I'm sorry if I pronounce them wrong, but that's how I know them as. And these are the 108, okay? 1 is represented by Brahma. 0 is represented by Shiva. And 8 is represented by Vishnu. I'll explain that in a second. Your 4th, 8th, 12th house is also the 108. So your 4th house is the number 1, 8th house is 0, and then the 12th house is the infinite. So there's that number coming back again, 108. So what is that 4th house spiritually? Okay, if we're saying your moksha karak houses are activated with Ketu Mahadasha, what is the 4th house? Okay, it's activated for everybody. You're going to see these kind of results across your Mahadasha. And when you're on this spiritual journey, your spiritual awakening in Ketu Mahadasha, and everybody has a different battle, like you could be dealing emotions related to a divorce, emotions related to somebody passing away, emotions related to you facing your pending karma from the past life or facing past trauma. So there's different types of emotions that are involved, right? And it's a different journey for everybody. So let's talk about the 4, 8, 12 and how they have an impact on us throughout this journey. So the 4th house, the 4th house is your heart space, okay? Your dil, your man, your heart. It's also the base of your emotional foundation. It's that home within, okay? It's the inner peace. It's not the physical home, but it's the home within. And this is a place of emotional healing. And Brahma represents the 4th house, okay? The number 1. This is the birth of emotional consciousness. To me, and anyone who resonates with this, I believe that Brahma, Mahesh, Vishnu is your consciousness. These are 3 different stages: the creator, destroyer, and preserver. These are the 3 different states of your consciousness. They're all one. Remember, there's one above them all. They're all one, but there's different levels to it. So 4th house, your Brahma, you're number 1 of the 108. So the 4th house is the birth of emotional consciousness. So Brahma initiates this journey, grounding the soul in the desire for self-realization, okay? This is where all begins. Your emotional conditioning is impacted. So while you're in Ketu Mahadasha, there's a lot of emotional turmoils that come up. Like you went through a divorce and here you are like facing a lot of past emotions related to that marriage, your connection. So everything has to break and get recreated. Like one thing that everybody feels in Ketu Mahadasha usually, if you're sitting at home, not working and stuff, is ultimate peace. That's koon, okay? That is felt through the 4th house. So naturally your 4th house is activated. Doesn't matter if your Ketu is 4th or not, 2nd house, wherever planet. It doesn't matter if any planets are in the 4th house or not. Naturally, you are gonna see the results of the 4th house while you're in Ketu Mahadasha, okay? How deep you feel it is depending on your journey. This is where Ketu naturally wants to give you that ultimate peace, okay? Like you start to feel after Mercury stress, after all the stress and stuff like that, there's a little peace in your life day to day now. Life feels a little easy, stress-free, you take it easy. And then you start your journey about self-inquiry from here, right? So you're naturally given this state of peace in Ketu Mahadasha. Then comes the next house now. So you have your inner peace and you realize what home actually feels, where you feel comfortable, like you're connecting to the divine and stuff. Then your next house that comes up on the list is 8th house. Now this is where the storms start coming in. That's activated for everybody. The 8th house is a getaway to the spiritual transformation. It plays a big role, the 8th house. I know in a typical chart, everybody's scared of the 8th house. Oh my God, the 8th house, 8th house. Okay. 8th house isn't scary. 8th house is the house of Shiva. It's the Shiva energy in here. Traditionally in astrology, 8th house usually is the Scorpion energy, right? From the 8th house, Kundalini awakening is seen. You have to face your past life karma. Your past life karmic debt shows up in here. And there is death of ego, okay? Letting go of who you used to be, your identity. And here, as we know in mythology or to the divine, that Shiva destroys, right? Shiva destroys your attachments and illusions. He's preparing your soul for the release, like from the material attachments. He's getting you ready for the 12th house, the Pisces and stuff like that, right? What are you letting go, right? Again, everybody feels some way impact of the 8th house that they have to transform themselves, okay, on their mental conditioning. I'm gonna make a video on this next week sometime, but 8th house is activated for everybody, so you transform yourself. Some people have to face their past life karma through money. So when Ketu kicks in, they lose a house, they lose a lot of money in the bank balance. Okay, no problem. That's a karmic debt. Sorry to say, but some people have a sudden surgery in Ketu where they lose a body part. Some bad karma built up from the past life. I'm sorry, I don't want to get too deep into it, but that surgery was karmic and had to happen. Anything that's karmically no longer yours gets stripped away. Okay, that house, that car, your job, any titles and stuff like that. Your personality has to change, and that's when you realize that when things are stripped away so easily and it feels so painful, yet you're not in control of this materialistic world. Okay, the divine is preparing your consciousness for a higher state. Okay, so be happy when you go through this deep journey. Everybody goes through it. Like I keep saying, in Ketu, you're going to feel the effects of the 4, 8, 12. Everybody's going to feel this heavy change somewhere. So if you're not changing your ego, like through money, letting go, karmic debt and stuff, where else are you changing? You're changing yourself, your mentality, your conditioning, okay? Growing up thinking that you could never disrespect your mother and father, your uncle and aunt, or the elders and stuff. And then you see them doing all this wrong and you finally put your foot down. Hey, Dad, listen, I'm not going to be treated this way anymore. I deserve more respect, or this is how I feel. You put yourself first, okay? You put your emotions first. Like, you start changing yourself. That why follow the societal norms anymore? Like, you also change the conditioning on how you're brought up in a typical marriage household. Sometimes, let's say, like, in the traditional culture, sometimes daughters are married off, they should be doing housework only. Here you are married into a new modern, like you're modern, educated, and you don't want to go home and be a housewife. You want to work and stuff like that, but family is very traditional and you're going through Ketu Mahadasha. You said it's time to change these thinking patterns. You're not this kind of person anymore. Like, out with the old, in with the new. So this transformation, again, it's different for everybody, happens on so many different levels. Like, where is it that you're setting your boundaries up now? That before people used to take advantage of you, right? You were there for everybody. You were emotionally available to hear everybody cry and pain. And then when Ketu came in, and let's say you went through a divorce, but nobody was there to comfort you. So that is also a change where you're like, nobody's there for me now. I got to go through the changing process that I'm not going to be there for everybody. Make myself, I protect my emotions and stuff like that, right? And whereas before Ketu, if you were a businessman and you were so proud of your assets, your money, your cars, everything, and then due to a loss, it got taken away, or because of harsh financial conditions, you have to sell it now. And then you realize that it's just you and the divine end of the day. So your thought pattern, everything changes. And 8th house is beautiful. It's not scary. So if you're in Ketu Mahadasha, just remember 4, 8, 12 are magical houses. They're not painful houses, guys. There's so much transformation that happens inside them. Now, 12th house, the Vishnu Stan, okay? I don't want to talk about the traditional Lakshmi Stan, Vishnu Stan as per the 159. Like, different, but to me, spiritually, 12th is the consciousness of Vishnu. Okay, so Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, like these houses are naturally activated for everybody in Ketu Mahadasha. And then 12th house is isolation. We all feel it in Ketu. Okay, some way, one form or the other, you're feeling isolated. Like you're isolated from your group of friends. You're isolated completely from the society, and you're living home alone. Sometimes you're isolated and you go to a meditation center for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Ketu takes you there, right? You're isolated at home. Like you have no family around sometimes. Or this is very ironic. You signed up for this kind of journey. Sometimes some people go to jail for enlightenment. It's very strange. Like, let's say if you're in a household and you don't even realize your Ketu Mahadasha is coming or going on, and you're having husband-wife problems or something, and it's domestic abuse. Let's say one gender abuses the other gender, and the police gets called and they get arrested and they go to jail. So that's the universe putting you in a little room so you can change yourself of what you used to be, and finally realize that things are out of your control. You might go to jail for 6 months, 1 year, whatever, and that's your enlightenment stage. Okay, it's a very strange process. You're not in the mountains anymore. You're not in the Himalayas. You're in a little jail. So a lot of people, without even realizing, in Ketu, sometimes they go in and out of jail. It's not always beautiful sitting in the mountains, becoming a yogi. No, for me, my journey has been in the place behind me. So this has been my space for everything. So to feel the effects of the 12th house, yes, you're isolated, right? And this is the last stage of your transfer. Not the last stage of Ketu Mahadasha, but the last stage of your thinking process, okay? When you truly surrender to the divine and you realize that things are not in your control, you're in the samadhi stage. You're just realizing that you become one with the oneness. Like, जो है सो सब कुछ तेरा, like हमारे हाथों में कुछ नहीं है. That's when you realize like सब कुछ भगवान का है. Like you're part of the divine, of the oneness and stuff. Your consciousness becomes one with the divine. It's how your thinking, your consciousness changes in Ketu Mahadasha, and you no longer care about the materialistic things and stuff. So the 12th house has done its job of transforming you. When you realize that all of this didn't matter, it was just me on this beautiful journey with God the whole time. Like God is doing everything. There's something higher power than us. Like I don't even want to say any religious figure names and stuff like that, because a lot of you I've talked to are modern age spiritual people that we talk about the oneness, the one divine, the divine power. So when you realize you are part of that source, that's the 12th house working for you in Ketu Mahadasha. And this is where the enlightenment kicks in, the divine love. You totally surrender of your life. And then this is the magic of the 12th house. Basically, for everybody, 12 houses are the evolution of the consciousness. आपका सोच बदल रही है. That is the way to look at it. That's spiritual journey. That's spiritual awakening. Like you're taking your consciousness, your thinking process to the next level. आपकी सोच कुछ और हो गई, बदल गई है. And when you have done that, you've done what Ketu is trying to teach you. And from the 4th house perspective, we looked at the change from the mind and the emotions. From the 8th, it's your deep karmic and spiritual purification. And the 12th house is total liberation and dissolving into the source. So the 4th, 8th, 12th are very magical houses. And this is 8 for today's video, guys. So I just want to put out there, before we start going into Ketu 1st house, Ketu 2nd, Ketu in this nakshatra, what kind of impact and how it's going to impact the 8th house away. So it's going to be a very magical journey throughout this week once these kind of videos start coming out, because Ketu, when it sits, for example, in the 1st house or the 2nd house, it's not only going to give you the results of 1st or 2nd, it's going to give you the results of where it wants to change you. And in my next videos coming up, I'll show you how you can see Ketu's trying to change you from which house. And I'll try to post 2 videos this week, one in the morning, one in the evening, because there's going to be a lot of content piled up, and I want to get into the divisional charts. Some of you I'm talking to, and we start talking about the divisional charts, and you guys don't even know there's more than just the birth chart. Like the birth chart is your D1, and then there's a D2, D3, D4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like D20s, 24s, 30s, 40s, up to D60s that sometimes we have to look at. And you guys are amazed by it. So I want to try to educate you guys on the D20, whoever's in Ketu Mahadasha, because that's the spiritual chart. That's the root. That's a very, very deep, like, spiritual chart, shows you on spiritual journey. So D1, D9, D20. But each chart has a different meaning. Each house has a different meaning. So there's going to be a lot of content coming up on this beautiful journey. And so I just want to make a little summary today of what everybody feels in Ketu Mahadasha as a whole. So your 4, 8, 12, your Moksh Trikon gets activated. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful journey. And I think that's it for today's video. I want to keep it simple. And I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow or Monday with another video. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you for everybody who has subscribed, guys. Thank you for all this love. I love talking to you guys on the phone, and all the emails that come in who have been watching my different other videos on Ketu Mahadasha. Like, you guys share your personal stories, and we have created this wonderful home, I like to call this channel, where everybody can open up their deepest and the deepest, darkest even parts of the journey, because they feel so comfortable here. And I want to be the friend, that brother, that son who you can rely on, not only for your spiritual journey, but also someone who you trust to go to, who you trust to send your kids to in the future if there's any problems with them as well. So I want to build that trust, that love that we have created in this. So I want to thank you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful healing journey. Remember, practice self-love. I put a video on this. Always look your best, and look your best, dress to impress, and always smile in Ketu Mahadasha, because Ketu is trying to change you for the better. So without taking too much time, thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you in the next one.